Okay. What's going on, good people? Let me know if I'm good. Audio's good, visual's good. Let me get a thumbs up if everything is good. How's everybody doing? How we feeling today? I'm feeling pretty good today. Got nothing to do with the Giants, but I'm feeling really good today. Shout out to Christian Torres in the comment section. What's going on, bro? Let me know if I'm good. Thumbs up if I'm good, and we can get this party started. Absolutely. See what we got going on. Giants versus Commanders. We're back at it. Giants versus the Commanders. Shout out to everybody in the building. Johnny Lovely, what's going on? Thank you for giving me the thumbs up. Sydney, what's going on? How you doing? What's going on? We're talking about the Washington Commanders again. How do we feel about it? How's everybody feeling about it? My man Eda Rondo in the building. Europe, what's going on? I want to know how everybody's feeling, man. I got mixed feelings with this one. You know what? The beginning of the week is one thing. You come off a loss, you're in a slump. As the week goes, you start to build a little bit of confidence. You realize how much you hate the rival in the division. And by the time you get to the day before the game, you feel like you got a chance. Man. What a good day of college football today, too. Enjoyed some games today. Anissa says she's not holding out any hope. That's a lot of people are like that right now. My man Gary Gasson says, Dash, what's good, bro? Like the work you do, bro. How you feeling about tomorrow? I'm getting to it. I appreciate the support, though. I'm going to get to it, man. Kicker issues again. Against the same team we had kicker issues before. We will be playing. Is he a rookie? Is he a rookie or somebody we picked up? McAtemy. He will be the kicker for tomorrow. Joseph got hurt, and we don't know how in practice, some kind of way. But we do have a kicker. Unlike week 2, we have a kicker. Sydney says we need this one. I'm glad Tracy is playing. That's a fact. I was happy that he got through concussion protocol. Not on the injury report yesterday, and will be playing for the New York Giants tomorrow. I'm excited about that. Outside of Malik Neighbors, that's our other playmaker right now. So I'm happy. I'm happy that Tracy was able to, to heal quickly and be ready for this game because we're going to need him for sure. Hopefully we need. Hopefully we need him. Hopefully we use him. Hopefully Brian Dable sticks with the run tomorrow. That's something that we need to establish early and often. But I'm feeling pretty good. My man Eda Rondo said he's going to be in the building. Said we have never lost when I've been in the building. But there you go. There you have it. Rondo's in the building. The New York Giants you can guarantee that victory. Like Fossil. You guaranteed to win. We guaranteed going to the playoffs now. This team will be in the playoffs. That's what Fossil said, right? Thank you for correct. Yeah, he's a rookie. I thought so. UDFA that we picked up. McAtemy. Rutgers kid. Shout out to Rutgers. Sydney says Brian Dable needs to call on Tyrone. Yeah, you better call Tyrone for sure. Tell him we need him. He said he's pushing all his chips, and that's a fact, man. I'm glad you got it. Europe, the El Jefe. What's going on, El Jefe? How's everybody doing tonight, man? What are you guys doing tonight? Like I said, I feel pretty good. I've been talking a little bit of trash, going back and forth with some Commander fans today. Get the juices flowing a little bit. I didn't do much trash talking all week because I didn't feel like it was needed or warranted. But you get to the end of the week, people throw jabs. I even gave them a little bit of love in the video. The last video I put out, I gave them some love. I let them know, that they're up here right now and they got their quarterback and they in the winning business, but they still want to talk trash and try to, kick us while we're down. But, I can't allow that. There's just so much grace that I can give before I start trash talking, man. I try to be respectful, especially when my team is not playing well, but it is what it is. Shout out to Brian Sutton, man. My man, the Juke, is in the building. Again, if you're not subscribed to the Juke, go ahead and do that. Another fantastic Giants content creator, putting in a lot of work. I seen he made the rounds this week. He was in a couple different places, invited to a couple different shows for the Washington Commanders. Made his run around this week. So salute to the Duke. What we got going on, Rondo? It's always warranted with them. They started up there. Yeah, they did. Yeah, and yeah, listen, and I said it in the video. I was like, I've never had an issue with Washington Commander fans, because they've never been real trash talkers, man. But as soon as they start winning, they giving me Eagle vibes, man. They got more hardware, in in the trophy cabinet, but they giving me Eagle vibes, man. They act like you've been there before, but you know what? Shout out to them, though. All due respect to them, because if I was in that position right now, I'll be talking crazy too. Because in 2022, when we were 6-2, I was talking crazy, absolutely. So they can have their grace, man. They can have their grace. Jamal Simmons says, "Bring back Eli Manning as a quarterback one more year, bro." Oh man, yeah, man. Eli, we do miss Eli. We do miss Eli. Future Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer Eli Manning. We already know that's the future right now. Shout out to my man TP Way, the Giant. He said if Eli's going, he's going to Canton to see Eli get inducted. Shout out to TP Way. Yeah, we're going to get into that. So many trade rumors, man, it's crazy. So yeah, we saw some trade rumors. The one that seems to have the most steam right now is Aziz Ojulari. They're saying that the New York Giants are actively, answering calls for Aziz Ojulari. If you want to call it shopping, they're shopping Aziz Ojulari. They already put out a couple of teams. And once you start hearing names of teams, it's no longer smoke. It's more like fire, and things could be real. So I know one of the teams was the Arizona Cardinals. And the reason why that stands out to me, because that's where his brother plays right now. And who wouldn't want to play with their brother at the end of the day? But again, we'll see what happens. The trade deadline is coming up early next week. And we'll see if the New York Giants are in the selling business, because, again, I don't believe we're biased. Shout out to Sean Clowney. He said, "What's up, Dash? What's going up, Sean? What's going on?" My man Jasper St. Jock, pause. Said, "Oh, you got to put some respect on Eli. I understand what his record is. I understand. 2-time Super Bowl champion, 2-time Super Bowl MVP. Yes, he gave us headaches a lot of the time, but he also gave us 2 Super Bowls. And trust me, I was right there when he was washed, because I will say that, and a lot of people were mad when I was calling him. When he was washed, he had to usher himself out of there. But once you retire, all the good grace, we only remember the good when it comes to Eli Manning. Well, at least for me, I'm only remembering the good. 2-time Super Bowl MVP, Super Bowl champion, beat Tom Brady, beat the GOAT twice. Eli Manning, first ballot Hall of Fame. You can add that too. Shout out to Eli Manning, no disrespect, but shout out to you too, Jasper." Eda Rondo says, "I'm signing Aziz for real, unless it's too good." Here is the thing, and we've had these discussions. If you're going to sign Aziz, you better make it within the next couple of days. Because once we get after this trade deadline, there's no guarantee that you'll be able to keep him. You're not going to tag him. And and you want to get something for him if you're not able to sign him. And if we get past the trade deadline, you're not getting anything for him, and you stand the chance of losing him for nothing. So that has to be on Joe Shane's mind. In my opinion, it has to be on his mind. No doubt on my mind. Brian Sutton says, "We always beat them. The only team in the division we beat the last 5 years was the Redskins." Well, they beat us the last time we played, and right now they're on fire. Seems like it. They had a lucky, and I'm going to say it was lucky. They had a lucky Hail Mary last week. It is what it is, but guess what? They're leading. They're at the top of the division. They can talk, for sure. He says, I'm with all the trades that help us as a team, but Aziz definitely needs to stay with us. I agree, man. Right now we're seeing Aziz play his best ball. And shout out to my man OG, because OG was saying it 2 years ago, as soon as these players get into that contract year, you see them play their best football. And now we've seen Aziz at 2 out of 3 games that he's been starting show out. And I believe tomorrow against that Washington Commanders team, against that defensive line, against their offensive line, I think Brian Burns are going to eat. I think that Dex is going to eat, because he always does. They always clean their plates. We'll see what happens, though. We'll see what happens. Shout out to my man Rick Torchier. Got all the fire emojis and the NYG, you busters. That's a fact. I got the FIFA 4 chant going on in the comments section. Again, shout out to TP Way the Giant with the FIFA 4. Let's do that. FIFA 4 fun. Let me say it correctly. Sydney says, I like Aziz, but I think I could live letting him go if we're going nowhere. At this moment, he is too high risk of injury. Yeah, he is. That's the one thing when you come to the contract, when it comes to negotiating, you have to keep that in mind, that he can't stay healthy. He had a solid rookie season, solid to good rookie season, good showing, and then he disappeared for 2 years. And the funny thing is, if we saw this type of Aziz last year, or consistently, I don't think we trade and pay Burns all that big money. And we're seeing the same Aziz that we've been seeing in 2 of the last 3 games. But it is what it is. We got to remember that too. And Sydney, you're absolutely right, man. The injury history is something that plays a part in the decision making, for sure. My man Castro says, I'm so tired. I'm so tired of seeing solid guys walk out of this organization while we swirl around in the doodoo bowl. That's a fact, man. FIFA 4 fun. That's a fact. Now that's true, man. We got to. To me, I agree with you. We need to keep our good players, as long as that price is reasonable. Because again, what is he? What is he worth? How much are we willing to pay him? We're not paying too many guys right now. We already know that most likely Daniel Jones is gone. In my opinion, he is gone, and then you're going to free up a little bit of money after the dead cap. So you got more than enough money to pay Aziz, some bread. Get that man a little bit of bread, man. Now, if he's out asking for something outrageous, it is what it is. Sean Clowney says, what about re-sign Aziz and trade Thibodeau? Oh, next year. Whoa. Got to pump the brakes a little bit. I wish Thibodeau was healthy so we can actually see him develop more. Right now, if you wanted to say it, and I wouldn't argue with you, Aziz is looking like more of an impact guy this year than what we saw from Tibbs before he got hurt. And that would be something that you would think about, because I know for a fact Tibbs is not giving any hometown discounts when it comes to getting his new contract. And he's about his business. So you think other people played hardball? Thibodeau is definitely going to play hardball. My man Huffy says, after tomorrow, I'll be rolling Commanders pack. You're going to be rolling up a Commanders pack. Okay. I'm with it, man. I'm with it for sure. Again, they need to come back down to reality a little bit. And like I said, I think defensively, I'm not worried about the defense. If we're being truly honest, I'm not worried about the defense. As long as we can play complementary football and the offense can score some points, I think we got a chance. And that's with almost anybody. If the offense can play complementary to the defense, I think the New York Giants can have a chance with almost anybody. Point is, we're not getting consistent offensive play. We're not really getting any kind of offensive play, and we're not scoring points. And that's where a lot of the doubt comes from for me. Absolutely. My man G242 Marshall says our team needs to get rid of all these players who are not balling until contract year has arrived. Do you agree? Now, in some cases, yes. In some cases, yes. For me, that rookie season for Aziz, we saw him flash his rookie season, and then it was all injuries. So when we see Aziz play the way that he's playing right now, a lot of people are not surprised, or at least they shouldn't be surprised, because we kind of saw this in his rookie season. So I don't know if that means you get rid of him if he's not balling until his contract year. He may play his rookie season. He's just been hurt, and that's one of these guys that you might want to take a chance on. Just my thoughts right now. It might change again depending on how much money he's asking for sure. You said salute to your brand, champ. Appreciate you. I appreciate you too, man. Thank you for the love and support, man. And in case you guys didn't know, yeah, I did. I started a membership so you guys can join the Big Blue Nation. Expect some changes to happen. Not changes as far as the content, anything like that. Just improvements, quality. Probably some giveaways and stuff like that. Maybe some private. Not private. That sounds crazy. But some member type videos and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens with that, man. It depends on if the people are rocking or not. But nah, I appreciate the love and support, man, all the time, man. My man Prince Castro says if the banks get if the banks get robbed, we're done. Neighbors has to find the end zone with 2 feet. I see you throwing jabs early. You throwing jabs early. I see it. I see it. Banks are closed tomorrow. The banks closed tomorrow. For some reason, Banks likes to play against the Commanders. Maybe because he grew up rooting for them, and like he said, they passed on him. They didn't want him. So every time he gets the chance to play the Commanders, he plays them a little bit. It's a little bit extra sauce on that. A little bit extra sauce on that. And you're absolutely right. Neighbors has to get into the end zone, 2 feet down, score a touchdown. Absolutely. No arguments, no debating there. Oof, that was the next one. Does Slayton get traded? To me, I'm absolutely not trading Slayton. Listen, you show me another wide receiver that has proven anything, and then maybe I think about trading Slayton. We're not paying anybody in that wide receiver room. Nobody is getting paid. Malik Neighbors is on a rookie contract. There's nothing wrong with Darius Slayton. It's not like he's an old man. It's not like he's going to cost us a tremendous amount of money. For me, I'm keeping Darius Slayton. Does it happen? I don't know. I thought maybe the Chiefs would want him, but the Chiefs went out and got Hopkins. So what's the trademark of Slayton right now? A lot of those people went out and got, some wide receivers. Also, you heard names like Cooper Kupp possibly being on the trading block. There's some competition out there. So it depends on what happens. Now, if you tell me you're going to give me a fourth for Darius Slayton, I'm picking up the phone for a fourth. And then we can talk something. But I'm not just going to be trading Slayton just to turn around and draft another wide receiver that might hopefully be what Darius Slayton is. And again, we saw it. It all depends on the targets when it comes to Darius Slayton. The more times he gets the ball, the more production you see. That's like all the wide receivers we have on this team. Outside, Wan'Dale Robinson, you can feed Wan'Dale Robinson, 20 receptions. He might only have 80 yards off of 20 receptions. That's not a shot. That's just me being serious. The shortest routes are for Wan'Dale. No pun intended. That's crazy. Shortest routes. Okay. Now, that's a fact. Prince was one of the day one guys, man. I remember, Prince, you had a prediction way back, man. Right when I first started with the corny soundtracks and the voiceovers. I wasn't even on camera yet, Prince. That's a fact. Shout out to my man Castro, man. That's a day one right there for sure. And I remember what you told me. You said, "Yo, watch what happens in 2 years." And you was right, man. The channel has grown on a roll for 10K. And that's something that you predicted as well. So shout out to you, Prince, for sure. Shout out to Prince Castro, man. Day one. Nah, listen, man. That's why I said it. That's why I said it, Brian. Brian says nobody is giving up a fourth for Darius Slay. That's why I said it. Are you giving Darius Slay away for a fifth? I don't know if I want to give him away for a fifth. So I said a fourth will get me on the phone, but a fifth, nah, man. I'm not doing that for a fifth. I might as well keep him and pay him a little bit of money. Like I said, we're not paying nobody else, really. We got so much cap space between now, 2020, 2025, what happens with Daniel Jones, and then what happens really in 2026. That's when we're going to have a lot of bread. We got to sign a lot of players, too. But we're going to have a lot of bread in 2026. So that Slayton contract wouldn't be nothing, especially when you got a whole bunch of guys that are not making money. You figure at that point in time, Wan'Dale Robinson will be due for a new contract. Jalen Hyde, if we still keep him, he'll be, hopefully, if he plays well, maybe we try to extend him. But outside of that, we're not paying anybody for real. At all. At all. El Jefe says, low-key, I think Joe might finesse a good trade for Slayton. Like I said, it depends. If he could finesse something, I'm all with it. Like, let me tell you this, man. At the end of the day, for me, it's always Giants first. I'm a Giants fan before I'm a particular player's fan. So I can move on when a player moves on too. Once you leave the Giants, it is what it is. I don't care anymore. But I'm just gonna say this. I like Darius Slayton, but if you get a fantastic deal and you're able to finesse it for Darius Slayton, then I'm absolutely all for it, man. I know what the bigger goal is to win games. I do believe that Darius Slayton can help us win games, but we all know where it starts. And until that problem gets fixed, it is what it is. I'm open to a lot of things. Pause. That sounds crazy. Sean Clowney says, what about moving Evan Neal to left tackle? We running out of options. Listen, man. What's funny? I saw a post on Twitter today, X. And and they had the grades for Matt Pert. And Matt Pert is playing pretty well in the Broncos. Actually, he's a solid tackle now for the Broncos. I saw that Ben Bredesen is doing good. We know how Hernandez did with the when he was with the Cardinals. Oh, when guys leave, they tend to play better. We saw Bobby Johnson, who we swear up and down was a problem, and I still think he is because I don't think that offensive line for the Commanders is that good. But he's having success because the team's having success. But also, we saw what happened. They drinking the Kool-Aid. 2022, we were winning games. We were 6-2 in 2022, and nobody was really complaining about Bobby Johnson. Or we let it slide because we were winning. The Commanders' line is not that good, but, Bobby Johnson is there, and a lot of people are having jokes. Like, oh, he was horrible with us, but look at that team now. No, to me, he's still horrible. But shout out to the assistant offensive line coach, my man Darnell Stapleton for the Washington Commanders. Guy I used to play high school ball with, man. Shout out to the Union Farmers. Let's see what happens. My man Jay Lay, shout out to Jay Lay. What's going on, man? Shout out to Jay Lay. He said, running back with DJ one more year, lose every game, and draft Arch in 2026. Listen, I can't even laugh at that. I laughed at that a year ago when people were saying that. And now I can't even laugh at it. I want to laugh at that, but I can't laugh at it because you know what? Some people really believe that. Now, Jay Lay, I don't know if you're one of those people that really believe that or you putting this up as a joke. But a lot of people are starting to believe that whole, draft Arch thing. We'll see what happens. But one thing when it comes to those Mannings, they do graduate college before they come out. So unless Arch graduates early, it might be 2027, not 2026. Just saying. The Mannings do graduate. Sydney says, I think buying a quarterback is less risky than drafting one. Depending on where you're at in your draft position, absolutely. If you want to sign a bridge quarterback, you can absolutely do that. I'm not against that at all. There's a couple of guys that's going to free up. You got some guys on the market right now that are being picky. I remember Ryan Tannehill. I laughed at signing Ryan Tannehill. I almost wish we had him right now. He would be a better option, in my opinion, right now. Again, don't hold it against me. That's just how I feel at the time. I'm scoring. But, yeah, I agree with you. I would have loved to re-sign Tyrod Taylor, but, the bridge was burned. He was mad at us, and he went across town to the Jets. And now look at the Jets. Well, the Jets just won a game, too, but the Jets ain't been doing good either. So the grass is not always greener on the other side. My man Jay Lay let me know it's just kidding, but I wouldn't be mad. That's a fact, and that's how you moonwalk out of that statement. I'm just kidding, but I wouldn't be mad. You know what I mean? I get it because I wouldn't be mad either. Arch, listen. Arch got the pedigree, man. He got to play a lot more college football, though. He did play in some games this year against some teams that weren't good, but he did his thing. Can't hold that against him, though. My man Jasper says, Wandell is gone. Shaking my head. They will be looking for a second and third wide receiver. Now, here's the thing, and I agree with you. I don't think there's anything wrong with Wandell for what he does. He just shouldn't be our second wide receiver, in my opinion. He's a gadget guy. He should be like the third option. Right now, he's the second option behind Malik Neighbors. If you want to say Darius Slayton is really the wide receiver too, I would agree with that too. But when it comes to these targets, Wandell is getting a lot of targets, and for what he does, I agree with you, Jasper. We will be looking for a wide receiver too if Darius Slayton is no longer on the team. But as long as Darius Slayton is on the team, I like Darius Slayton as a number 2. If we can spread the ball around, we haven't seen solid, consistent quarterback play enough that Neighbors is getting the ball and also Darius Slayton is getting the ball. Pardon me. Man, I know Rondo. He says Bredesen has always been my son. You know that. That's a fact. I know. And guess what? He might get us a comp pick, a nice comp. No, maybe not a nice comp pick, but he's starting. He's starting for the Bucks, so we should get a comp pick off him. You let me know in the comment section if we qualify for a comp. I haven't looked that up. I haven't looked at any of the comp. I know we're going to get a comp for McKinney just because of how much money he's getting paid. But with Ben Bredesen, the amount of snaps he's playing as a starter, that might get us a comp if I'm not mistaken. El Jefe says that Evan Ingram is still a bum. Evan Ingram needed a change of scenery. Like, we were tired of him. He was tired of us. He went to the Jacksonville Jaguars last year. He had a solid season. This year, not as much, but we both sides needed a fresh start from Evan Ingram. He broke my heart a few times. I still remember that Philadelphia game where the ball went right off the tips of his fingers. Right off the tips of his fingers, man. That was a game we could have beat the Eagles. Broke my heart, man. Uh-oh. My man Brian Sutton says, nah, we can get rid of Daniel Jones' contract after this year. I know that I understand, yeah. We have the out this year. We still got that dead cap money though. But and we can move on. Only hope Fat Brian Dable and Shane is draft a quarterback this year and hope he produces next year. That's what I want. And also it depends on where we're at. Right now, for me, I like 3 quarterbacks in this draft. I only think 2 of those quarterbacks are first-round quarterbacks, and that's going to be Sanders and Ward. Those are the only 2 guys that I believe are first-round quarterbacks. Nussmeier is coming along, but I don't think he's a first-rounder. He is, in my opinion, he's a second-rounder. If we don't get a quarterback in round 1, if Nussmeier's there in round 2, and we're up, I would draft Nussmeier. Outside of that, maybe Milroe, depending on what he does in the college playoffs too. But after that, man, there's some guys that I like, but not anybody I would draft in the first or second round. And that goes for Beck. That goes for I like Jackson Dart, but he has a lot of growing to do. It just is what it is. You guys got the chat going. Shout out to the 44 people in the building. Make sure you hit that like button. I can't see the like, so hopefully you guys are hitting that like button on the way in. If not, go ahead and step out of the chat and hit that like button right now. Show the love and support. It'll let the people know that we live and in the building. Get that algorithm going. My man, Henry Johnson. Shout out to Henry Johnson. He says, give Dable his guy at quarterback. Watch what happens. I can agree with that. Will he get that chance? I don't know. You know what to help him get that chance? Start to win a couple of games. But if you start to win a couple of games, does that mess up the draft position? Listen, man, it's a tricky situation that we're in right now. I will say this though: if the Patriots continue to lose and they get that number 1 draft pick, they're not drafting a quarterback. They're throwing the ring off the hook. Are we willing to move up depending on where we are? We'll see what happens, man. We will see what happens. Brian Sutton says, Derek Jones, I'm weak. With Derek Jones. Did you mean 100% Derek? Oh, you guys are hilarious. Derek Jones is crazy. I got to go back to the joke now. Where did the joke first start? Derek Jones. Oh, wow, I see it. No quarterback throws a perfect pass ever. Every attempt. That's why they are great catches. Nah, that's a fact. That's a fact. What else did he say? Said, what about his QBR? Oh, boy, you guys are going back and forth with Derek about Daniel Jones. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. It looked like Rondo was backing up Derek. Listen, you guys can have at it in the comment section. That's a fact. Go ahead and have it. So let's start talking about this game a little bit, man. So nobody has said anything in the comment section yet. We start talking about trades and all that, and the chat went off. We bring up Daniel Jones, chat goes off. I want to know how you guys feel about this game against the Washington Commanders. Do we have a chance to beat the Washington Commanders? Yes or no? Go ahead and throw it in the chat. Yes or no? Let me know how you guys feel about it. What are our chances? I'll do predictions later. Before we get out of here, I'll do some predictions. But for right now, I just want to know how people feel. I want to know what the temperature in the room is right now for the New York Giants versus the Commanders. And I want to get caught up on this chat because the way this thing is going, you guys are cracking up. Hyatt is open on the bench every play. Good Lord. Listen, man, no disrespect to Hyatt. I like Jalen Hyatt. And I will say this about Jalen Hyatt. Jalen Hyatt could not get on the field. Jalen Hyatt could not get targeted, really. And the 2 targets that he did get, I believe he caught one, dropped one, right? Or maybe it's 3 targets by now. But I will say this. None of them were deep shots, though. And you guys can get mad at me all you want. We threw in the bum Drew Lock. We threw a bum in there. And Drew Lock was able to get a deep target shot for Hyatt. And I've been arguing with people all year about Hyatt is open. And get Hyatt the ball, got to give him the targets. He didn't get the targets until another man was back there playing quarterback. We can argue all you want, but the proof was in the pudding. We saw it. I saw the deep shot. Whether he caught it or not is another story, but there was a target there, and he was open. Almost broke a rib trying to catch it, too. Fighter's Destiny said trade Hyatt to KC for a decent pick. It depends. Can we fool the Chiefs twice? Because we fooled them with Kadarius Toney, even though they won a Super Bowl with him. And right now, again, they went and got DeAndre Hopkins. Do they need Jalen Hyatt right now? And I'm pretty sure they're not giving up anything significant for Jalen Hyatt. Not in my opinion. I don't think that happens. Oh boy, you guys going off in the chat. I'm gonna let you guys have it, man. I'm gonna let you guys have it. Derek Jones says Giants can win if all phases of the team plays well. Each week is a different part of the team that screws up. That's a fact. Last week it was two phases that messed up. And then everybody ended up collapsing at the end of the day. But games start off the same way they've been starting off. Defense holding the other team. Offense not scoring points. Last week against the Steelers, what broke the game open? Special teams. Special teams screwed up. Steelers took advantage. Even though I still believe that's roughing the kicker. We know it was roughing the kicker, but it is what it is. We can't get all the calls, but when you're a New York Giant fan, we don't get most of the calls. He said the Hyatt Hotel is open, though. So Hyatt might not be open, but the hotel is. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Sydney says, I think Commanders are overrated just a little bit. I could say that. I mean, I would agree with that, too. Their quarterback is just dynamic. He bails out that offensive line. He extends plays. He's a threat with his legs. Kind of what like Daniel Jones used to be. You know, we used to be able to, when the play breaks down, Daniel Jones would just take off for the first down. We saw it all 2022. He doesn't have that same burst right now, so we're not seeing those plays from Daniel Jones like we did before. Can he ever get that burst back this season? I think we're way past that right now. Shout out to the family in the building. What's going on, Shamari? Fam is in the building. My man Rick says we will have a game. It's a division game. Shaking my head. Let's go. Yeah, we do play tough. The division plays tough. Outside of us playing the Cowboys, really, but we always play these guys pretty tough. We played the Eagles tough till we didn't. The Cowboys was just an ugly, disgusting game, but it is what it is. It is what it is. And that's a fact. Sydney says our pass rush is elite, and I don't think the Command O-line can hold. I 100% agree with you. Again, going into this game right now, I'm highly confident when it comes to this defense. I'm not worried about anything when it comes to this defense. I think we can stop the Washington Commanders. I think we can slow them down, if you want to say that. Again, we have to score these points in order for it to be a game. We can't go in here kicking a million field goals or letting them kick. Well, they can kick as many field goals as they want. But we got to score touchdowns, man. We can't go in here and lay another dud. Not again. Not in the legacy jerseys. I forgot. Yeah, we got the legacy jerseys tomorrow. Giants on the helmet. You see it. Giants on the helmet. We got the legacy jerseys tomorrow. We need to do something in the legacy jersey. At home, let's do something. My man Henry says, nah, Commanders legit. They score points, catch passes, run well, solid defense, almost beat Baltimore. Almost did. They almost did. Derek Jones says defense has been playing good, but then they give up a big play to convert fourths and 52s. Yeah, that's the Giants way right there. Third and 17, third and 20. We don't have too much luck with that. We don't have too much. That's just something that's been happening to the Giants for a while. I will say this: we've cleaned up a lot. I like the way that Bowen is coaching his defense. I like Bowen a lot, man. After that first game, and then after we played the Commanders, what was the game after the Commanders? Week 3. Was that Dallas? Dallas, right? I didn't like the first game against the Vikings. He made me mad with that soft shell defense, and then I believe it was a Dallas game. Week 3 was that week? No, the Browns were week 3. The 4th, yeah, against the Dallas Cowboys. I didn't like his defense either. I liked the way he played against the Commanders, even though Jaden Daniels broke mad tackles, a bunch of tackles in that game. Like I remember McFadden had him in the backfield for like a 6-yard loss, and he shook that loose, turned that into a first down. That game, that week 2 game against the Commanders, that was all Jaden Daniels when you really think about it. He put them in a position to win that game. Now, obviously, we had the big drop when we could have, killed the drive, and but it is what it is. Yeah, that's right. It was the Browns. I like the way the defense played against the Browns. It was the Dallas game, though. The Dallas game pissed me off because we sat in that soft zone, and we let that bum Dak Prescott beat us. Beat us. Banks will open that game too, Matt. Because CeeDee Lamb did what he had to do against Banks, but I didn't like the defense there. It is what it is, though. Henry Johnson says Giants defense doesn't catch any INT. Shaking my head. That's a fact, and a lot of people have talked about that. When Wink was here, he preached turnovers to the point where now you can still see some of that in the players that are still here, that were here from the weeks from Wink Martindale. When we get to the ball, we're sitting there trying to strip the ball instead of tackling. Like we're trying to punch the ball out, this, that, and that. How about this? How about you hit the guy hard, wrap up, and maybe you knock the ball loose instead of trying to strip the ball and the guy gets another 5 yards while you're trying to strip it. How about we do that? But no, absolutely. We only have the one interception, and that was in week 1, a tip ball from who was it? Tip ball from Dex, and then the rookie linebacker got it, Morse out. And that's the only interception we got this year. And the crazy thing about it is I thought Pinnock would have had one by now. I'm rooting for Talon Newbin to get one. Banks, I don't know. Drew Phillips, not really in the position that he played, doesn't really get a lot of interceptions. But I was just, I was hoping that we would get a little bit more turnovers. We have not seen that yet. We caused a couple of fumbles, but you're absolutely right, not seeing a lot of interceptions. Derek Jones says we need punt returns. Listen, man, Gunnar Olszewski sitting. We got the kid from Jersey out there right now, fielding punts. He's trying to make a play. He had a nice return last week. But yeah, we need to get something out of these special teams. Speaking of special teams, Bryce Ford Wheaton, I believe, is doubtful, so he might not play. He's a special team contributor. And then outside of that, the only people that are out is the kicker and the punter. Special teams, man. Good Lord. Good Lord. Who runs like Eric Dickerson? He said somebody runs like Eric Dickerson. Oh, let me see. Okay, Tracy. If the Giants make Tracy Jr. the number 1, he's already the number 1 right now. They will be okay, dude. Dude runs like Eric Dickerson. Shaking my head. He needs 20 to 25 rushes a game. Yeah, he runs high. Eric Dickerson ran high. Eric Dickerson was fast. Eric Dickerson was just like the fastest man on the field when he was playing, in all honesty. So Eric Dickerson, I can see it because Tracy does run high. And you know what's crazy with Tracy? He doesn't look like he's running that fast. It's just the way his stride is a little awkward. But he's beating, he's beating people to the punch. He's beating the angle. That's what Brian Baldinger said. He's an angle beater. But when you see him running, he doesn't look like he's moving that fast, but he clearly is. Long strider. Pause. Let's see what we got here. We need a kick return. We need all that. We need everything for special teams, Dirk. Everything you talk about, we need. That's a fact. That is a fact. Step over runners. Yeah. Yeah, now shout out to Tracy, man. I was excited, to find out that he was good to go out of concussion protocol. I think he can have a big game tomorrow. When it comes to this game tomorrow, for the offense, Brian Dable, go against everything that you want to do and stick to the run. We know that Brian Dable likes to pass the ball. That's his style. Blase, blah, 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 whatever. But you got to stick to the run. Feed Tyrone Tracy. Let this offensive line move forward. Give some confidence to this left tackle. Again, Hubbard with his second start because for whatever reason they don't trust Neal at all. Illumino is healthy. But we got to run the ball. And when it comes to the passing game and nobody wants to hear it, you got to go in up-tempo. You got to go quick game. That's the best ball you're going to get really from Daniel Jones. Unless the offensive line is proven that they can keep the guy up, Daniel Jones, keep him upright and keep him safe, then you can maybe get into some play action, maybe take a couple of shots downfield, maybe go for a deep crossing route or something like that. But you got to make sure that you can protect Daniel Jones. And again, run the ball so then you can, work off the play action. If you can run the ball successfully, work off the play action. Also, I want to see some screens, but I want to see some screens and make sure, please, with these penalties, illegal man downfield, illegal shift. I don't know what's going on. The penalties are killing drives. I don't know if I have enough toes left on my foot for these Giants to keep shooting. Keep shooting ourselves in the foot, man. Keep shooting ourselves in the foot with the penalties. I want to have a clean game, go up tempo, quick game in the passing game, and stick to the run. On the defensive side, be able to stop the run. I think the pass rush can get home, play containment, play within your assignments too. Don't let the quarterback break contain because he can do that. Let Dex push the pocket, edges clean up, man. And I think the New York Giants got a chance, man. I really do think the New York Giants got a chance. And that's just me talking, with my heart, not my head. At the end of the day. My man Demon Time said, let's be real. He said, what'd you say? Slayton been more? Oh, okay. My man getting spicy. Demon Time getting spicy in the comments. Slayton been more effective than Neighbors lately. All right. You got some backup in there too. I'm going to back you up too a little bit. Again, it's all about the targets though. A man Mark says, I hope Daniel Jones has a great game. Listen, I'm a Giants fan. I hope Daniel Jones has a great game too. At the end of the day, I'm a Giants fan. I want to see the New York Giants win. Absolutely. That's a fact. That's a fact. Shaking my head, quarterback choice, but that's a fact. Sydney says, shots fired on Neighbors. Yeah, shots fired. Man, already. Tell me how you really feel, Demon Time, about Neighbors. I'm curious. Because I know that's not all you got to say. Let me know what else you got to say about Neighbors. He came in here firing. Shout out to the 61 people. Again, make sure you hit that like button. Shout out to the super chat. My man Shamar with the $20 super chat says, keep grinding, Dash, Big Blue all day. Thank you for the love and support, family. Shout out to family in the building. Shout out to the love and support given. I appreciate you. My man Henry Johnson says he deserves those shots. Okay. My man Rick says Jaden will get touched. I don't Keach, leader in sacks. What do you mean to say there? Neighbors is playing like a glorified possession receiver. He needs to take one of those. Oh man, Derek, now you're gonna get on my bad side now, Derek. Now you say he's a glorified possession receiver. Now I'll tell you this, and what you're talking about is yak yards. And the one thing that controls yak is ball placement. So if you're gonna be mad at Neighbors for not having any yak yards, you gotta look at the point of the catch. And for me, every time I see Neighbors get a ball, he's either waiting for it, reaching for it, falling on the ground after he catches it, or trying to do a spin move because of the ball was either back shoulder or something like that. If Neighbors gets hit in stride, you'll see the same Neighbors from LSU. I wholeheartedly believe that. Ball placement has a lot to do with that yak. You can say the same thing about Wan'Dale Robinson. If you look at Wan'Dale Robinson when he's being successful, his best is when that ball placement is good. I watched that man in Kentucky. You know how many times he almost took it to the house? 40 yards, 50 yards, because he was hitting stride, one move, going down the field. He don't have that long speed, so he got caught before the touchdown. But ball placement matters a lot. And if you see better ball placement, you will see Neighbors get that yak yard that you're looking for. I wholeheartedly believe that. Shout out to my man Sean with the $2 super chat says we need to use the tight ends more. Absolutely. Let me tell you, the best throw from last week, in my opinion, is when Daniel Jones threw the ball to Theo Johnson in the seam. Up the seam. It was 3 people there. That ball got there in a hurry. He threw it with some anticipation. I don't know if he was scared or not, but whatever he was thinking, he needs to be thinking that every time he has the ball in his hand. Throw with some anticipation. Great throw. Use the tight ends. And that was the first time we really saw the tight end get the ball up the seam. That's the way you attack that cover 2. If you're running that cover 2, attack the seams, man. Get it right over the linebacker. Find that sweet spot. Shout out to my man Skol State of Mindset. What's up, Dash? What's going on, Skol, man? You guys got the Colts this week, I think, right? Colts? I think y'all got the Colts this week. Y'all got to get back in those winning ways, brother. I know my man Vocal Vike is a little upset. He's a little bit upset. He wants this win this week. I think y'all get it against the Colts. Colts are playing pretty well, though. They did bench Richardson, though. And they got Flacco back there. And to me, right now, Flacco's a better quarterback than Anthony Richardson. Yeah, I said it. It is what it is. But I think you guys got a chance tomorrow for sure. Absolutely. He said he hasn't gotten yak he hasn't gotten yak at all this season. When did he ever get yak? You know that his best chance of getting yak was in that Dallas game when he hit him with that. He hit that rookie with that double move on the left side of the field. Put him on the ground. He shook him so hard, and he had to wait 4 seconds for that ball to get there. He was in a full back pedal by the time that ball got there. He would have maybe that goes to the house. Again, ball placement matters, man. I can argue this all day. Love and support, though, Derek Jones. I understand why you feel the way that you feel, though, because he's an explosive player. And we saw it at LSU after the run. This man takes it to the house, and we have not seen that yet. I understand the frustration. Got to look at the large picture. Brian Sutton says if Neighbors was playing with Kirk Cousins, he'd be Rookie of the Year. Oh, boy. I mean, okay. Do I agree with that? Kind of. Yeah, kind of. Listen, man, right now, if you don't know me, if you're not familiar with me, listen, Daniel Jones is not on my good side right now, man. I support Daniel Jones. He wears a uniform. He is a New York Giant. All love, support for Daniel Jones, but I'm not going to sit here and cheerlead. I'm going to critique him. Tomorrow, I'll be a cheerleader tomorrow for the Giants. I'll be a cheerleader. Today, I'm critiquing the whole team. Everybody got fair points here. Shout out to everybody in the comment section. I agree with that. Henry Johnson says Theo needs more targets. I think he will get it. Yeah, I think so. They need to start using them more. Again, this is Brian Dable's game. These are his game plans. You know, if I'm Brian Dable, I'm getting the tight end involved early. I want to bring those safeties up, and if I can do that, if I can get the safeties worried about the tight end, then we can work on the outside and see if we can get something over the top. Like it's chess when you really think about it. Football is chess. It's strategy. It's plans. It's counter moves. It's thinking 4 steps ahead. Sometimes even further than that. Sometimes you run some plays to see what a defense is doing so you can do something later. It's all about setting people up. One time you run the jet sweep. One time you run the fake play action off of the jet sweep. It's chess. And Brian Dable been playing checkers a little bit, man. I need him to play chess again. He's been playing checkers. I need him to play chess again, especially when we get into the red zone. And we haven't gotten to the red zone often. This past couple of weeks. Haven't got a chance to really do anything. Even a touchdown from Tracy was 45 yards out. We got to play better. Coaches got to coach better. Players got to execute, and then we got to be clean. That's another thing. The penalties, I can't stand it. Every time we have a good play, I'm looking at the bottom of the screen to see if the graphic goes off for a flag, man. Every time we have a big play, I'm looking for a flag. PTSD. I got to get over that. Henry Johnson says he could catch a flight to a concert, but can't catch it easy. Listen, I see where you're at now, Henry. I see. You know what? I'm going to concede because you feel a certain way about the situation. I understand why you feel the way you feel about the situation. It is what it is. And I'm mad about the drops, too. I'll leave it at that. You got a point. My man Mark, shout out to Mark. He said, if the Giants can't draft Sanders or Ward, who are you taking? I say wait for Arch Manning for a legacy. Listen, I'm going to agree with you. If we're not in a position to take one of those top guys, and if you don't fall in love with somebody else and probably in the second round, then I'll probably hold off too. I probably would hold off too the draft class is not the same as last year. I love Sanders. I love Ward. If you can't get those guys, I'm not in love with a lot of those other players at quarterback. Like I would. Like last year, I liked 5 quarterbacks. Like I liked everybody but Bo Nix last year. I liked everybody but Bo Nix. I was really high on Michael Penix, and we still have not seen him play yet this year. And in my opinion, Michael Penix was the best thrower of the ball coming out of the draft last year, and we haven't seen him yet. Why? Because Kirk Cousins is playing out of his mind. Out of his mind. But I still think that Michael Penix was the best thrower of the ball in that draft. You see Jay Daniels playing. You see Caleb Williams coming along now. You know, was it Drake May? Drake May cost me money last week, man. He went out with that concussion. I needed 150 yards from Drake May last week. He got me 25 yards, man. Ruined my parlay. Shout out to FanDuel. Oh man. Derek Johnson says Neighbors is top 10 in the league right now. Yes, absolutely. And imagine if he didn't miss those 2 games with that concussion. He might be leading in every category when it comes to the receivers. He missed those 2 games, and Brian Thomas took over in Jacksonville for the rookie wide receivers. And he's having a pretty good season. And that team sucks too. That's another team that if they wind up, with the top pick, that their phone will be ringing too, because they already got a quarterback. They just paid Trevor Lawrence. So there's some ways to get up there. There's some ways to get up into the top of the draft if the New York Giants decide to win some games and move back as far as draft positioning goes. My man Brian Sutton says if you open up the middle of the field using the tight ends and backs out the backfield, you can see Neighbors really absolutely. And here's another thing for the people, and a lot of people watch Neighbors in college. Neighbors got the majority of his yards of his work in the slot. The New York Giants have been playing them outside. We saw him in the slot a little bit. Because we have Wan'Dale Robinson as the gadget guy, he's playing the slot receiver. I think if you play Malik Neighbors more in the slot, you get Slayton on the outside and even Hyatt on the field, and you only use Robinson for those gadget plays, you'll see even more work out of Malik Neighbors. Because if you're playing him off the line, who is really guarding Malik Neighbors off the line if you can't get a hand on him and jam him? Nobody is. But again, I'm not a coach, man. I'm just a guy on YouTube talking about the team that I love. Shout out to the New York Giants, man. My man Derek says when we get down there, they don't take shots into the actual end zone. That's a fact. And listen, we can go on and on about the mishaps of the coaching. Every time there's a third down, we throw short of the sticks. Like how many times have we seen that? That's not Daniel Jones. That's the route concept for the play. If it's third and 8, why are you running 6-yard hitches? Why are you doing that? Especially when they're playing off. Why are you doing that? When they're playing off like that, they're not even getting out of their back pedal. So what does that mean? They're looking at the quarterback the whole time. Whose advantage is that? The cornerbacks, because they can see what the quarterback is thinking. If you can't, listen, it is what it is. I'm going to stop. You guys got me fired up a little bit when it comes to Brian Dable done pissed me off a little bit, man. It is what it is. Shout out to Sydney with the $5 super chat. She says, I still feel this is a Brian. Listen, right in. Great segue. I still feel this is all Brian Dable's fault. A good coach gets the most out of their players. Brian Dable is cooked. Hibachi. Barbecue. Smoked. Henry Johnson says, Jalen Milroe. Listen, I'm an Alabama fan. I like Milroe better than I like Bryce Young coming out as a quarterback for the Commanders. Good Lord, for the Crimson Tide. But for me, 2 weeks ago I was higher on Jalen Milroe. Now I'm not as high on Jalen Milroe. He still has a chance because Alabama somehow, some way is going to make it to that college playoff. And it depends on what happens in the college playoff. That's for a lot of players too. Like Quinn Ewers, depending on what he does in the college in the playoffs, he might increase his stock. Right now, for me, his stock is down. Milroe's stock is down. What's the kid from Penn State, Ojulari? His stock is down. Connor Wakeman out of Texas A&M. I think he might have an extra year though. His stock is down. Yeah, man, it's a lot of guys falling to the wayside. But if a lot of these guys come out, now you're seeing some quarterbacks in that 3rd or 4th round range that you're willing to take a shot at, possibly develop, and you can always draft over them the year after that. So it just, like I said, it's a couple of ways that the New York Giants can address this quarterback position. But again, we're still in this season, halfway mark. It's not over till it's over, and it might be over. It might be over. But shout out to Jalen Milroe too, man. Did you see Jalen Milroe's pops almost get into a fight at the Tennessee game? Did y'all see that? He didn't like the way the Tennessee Titans, good Lord, the Tennessee Volunteers. He didn't like what they were saying about his son, and he went off on a couple. I'm pretty sure you can find that on YouTube or Twitter. Yeah, but Jalen Milroe's dad was upset. Called that lady all out her name and everything. My man Brian Sutton says we can't run the ball, so no extra bodies in the box, which means them outside threats like Neighbors are neutralized. All you got to do is have a number one cornerback and a safety over the top, and it's game over. And what have we seen? Exactly that. Exactly that. Safety's always shading. And then also because of Daniel Jones, everybody retreats. They start off close to the line. They show like they're going to have, everybody's going to be in the box. As soon as the ball is snapped, they retreat into their zone. And right now, when it comes to Daniel Jones, that pre-snap, post-snap, we got to see something. We got to do a little bit better. My man Eden Rondo says Jackson Dart. Again, I like Jackson Dart. He has a lot of developing to do, but he has all the tools for sure. I like his swagger too. He's highly competitive. Plays for Ole Miss. Has good arm talent, but sometimes it's a little bit of a bonehead. But I would take a chance on Jackson Dart in the third, fourth round, maybe. Fourth round for sure. I'll take a shot at Jackson Dart. I think he's a fifth-year senior too. So he has a lot of snaps, but he's still not quite there yet. Still needs some time. I'll tell you, the perfect place for Jackson Dart is a team that has an older quarterback that's probably going to be going in the next 2 to 3 years. Like for me, Jackson Dart going to the Rams, that's a nice fit for him. Going to the Jets, that's a nice fit for him. He needs to be sitting down and watching for a good season before he's thrown out there. So yeah, that's why I think the best place for Jackson Dart is, man. But I like Jackson Dart. I just don't like him for the Giants in the first or the second round. No, I can't do that. Give Dable the quarterback. That's what everybody's screaming. Everybody wants Dable to get his chance at a quarterback. John Mara made it seem like these guys are going to be safe and they're going to be able to get their quarterback. You got to win some games, though. You got to win some. Start tomorrow. Win a game. Why not? Why not us? Why not tomorrow? You got to win some games in order for Brian Dable to get a chance to get his quarterback. I would like to see it too, man. I would like to see it. Eden Rondo, I'm getting caught up now. He said, imagine if he caught all the drops. Let me go back down. I'm going to go back down a little bit. Let me get caught up with the chat a little bit. So I'm just going to read off some of these comments so I get caught up. I'm not going to jibber-jab too much. My man Mark says, I give Neighbors a pass only because Jerry Rice has issues with hands his rookie season. Leave social media alone for a while. My man Henry Johnson says, you might have a point. Not quite sure exactly what he's talking about, but he did hit me with a but. And when people say but, it is what it is. All right, Sidney says he doesn't have his guy, but he can seem to adjust and make it work. True. Like I said, Dable's no dummy. He won games with Tommy DeVito last year. He's not a dummy at all. So I'm not going to say he's a dummy, but he needs to play a little bit better. My man said, Sidney says, why did we make the playoffs? It's a lot of things that went into that playoff. We ran the ball consistently. Daniel Jones didn't make mistakes. Also, Daniel Jones ran for almost 800 yards, another 5 touchdowns. That helped. 7 touchdowns. Sorry, he ran for 7 touchdowns. That helped a lot. That's one of the reasons why we made it to the playoffs for sure. Brian Dable, quick game. You saw him play and the receivers were who they were. Richie James at one point, we picked up Hodges off the trash heap in Buffalo, and he came out. He made plays. Slayton made plays, and we benched him the first 3 games of the season in 2022. The coaching was fantastic in 2022. We won despite the roster in 2022. Coach of the year. Some people can debate that too, because I know some people say that O'Connell should have got it that year. It is what it is. You guys keep going. Rick says, when Daniel Jones says, I'm tired of losing, said by Jermaine Illuminor, Washington is next. It'll be interesting, but I'm hoping, champ. Listen, yeah, We know some of Daniel Jones's best games, or his best games, came against the Washington Commanders. That man has a 400-yard, 5-touchdown game against the Washington Commanders. That's something that you hang your hat on in some cases. For Daniel Jones, he's definitely hanging his hat. If you want to say it, some of those games against Washington is the reason why he's still here today. He flashed, showed us what he can do. And then 2022 was 2022. He got paid a new contract, and here we are right now. Mara himself said he's cooked. Oh, boy. He said, I'm not going to argue Jones because we both know he's cooked. He said Mara said he was cooked. Okay. Trade for, okay, shout out to Marlon Brown in the building. He says trade for Hendon Hooker. Last year I was for it. This year, depending on what they want for him, I wouldn't mind Hendon Hooker. I know he can throw the ball deep. I know he's willing to throw the ball deep. What's the quarterback situation looking like in Detroit, and what would we offer for Hendon Hooker? Could we get Hendon Hooker for a 5th rounder? If you could tell me I can get Hendon Hooker for a 5th rounder, I might do that. 4th rounder, I might need that pick because we got a lot of holes. But if we can get Hendon Hooker for a 5th, but I don't think Hendon Hooker's on the market, man. Right now, the way that the Detroit Lions are playing, I don't think they might look for an edge. They might look for somebody to get in there, because what's his name? Hutchinson got hurt and he's out for the season. They might look for some edge, but some edge help. I don't think they're sellers, though. I think they're buyers. I think they like what they got going on over there. I think that roster's put together pretty well. I don't think they want to take away from that. Hendon Hooker's a good backup, so we think. We really haven't seen him play, though, because Goff is playing out of his mind. That offense is something else. I read somewhere where they're favorites to go to the Super Bowl. Well, definitely favorites to go to the Super Bowl, but also favorites to win the Super Bowl. Let me tell you something. If Detroit wins that Super Bowl, get their first Super Bowl, boy, Jared Goff will never have to buy anything ever in Detroit, ever again, his whole life, if he wins the Super Bowl and brings the Super Bowl brings the championship to Detroit. Never won't have to worry about anything. He can get a house for free out there if he brings a Super Bowl to Detroit. You guys are going, man. Okay, good. I'm at the bottom of it right now. Pause. Sheesh. Pause, Nate. My man Brian Sutton says, I believe John Mara for now that they're safe. If we can salvage 6 wins out this season. Now, listen, I'm having fun tonight, so I'm gonna go a little bit longer too, man. You guys, I'm enjoying myself, man. So, that's I like that you mentioned that, because I think when John Mara made that comment, he was trying to do a couple of things. First thing, he was trying to take some of the heat off of the coaches, because at every presser, at every post game, they kept talking about his Brian Dable's job moving forward. Is he concerned about being on the hot seat? This, that, and the third. And John Mara decided to go out there and say, you know what? These guys are safe. We're not making any moves during the season, and I don't picture us making any moves in 2025. And that's exactly what John Mara did. He shut people up for about 4 days, and then the New York Giants went out there and lost again, and then all the talk came right back. Right back. And I know for a fact, not for a fact, but I'm pretty sure if the New York Giants continue to lose, whatever John Mara said in week 8, you can ball it up and throw it in the trash, Kobe. Ball it up, throw it in the trash, because it won't matter. If the New York Giants continue to lose games, all those guys are gone. All of them, no matter what John Mara said. He can wear the egg on his face. He can look stupid. But if those guys lose, they're out of here. All of them. If the New York Giants end this season with like 4 wins, I'll be shocked if both of those guys keep their jobs. Maybe that's just me, though. My man Jasper says, commit to the tank if everyone is safe. I'll say this. When you're already losing games, there's no need to tank. There's no need to tank. Players don't tank. Players get paid to play. Players get paid to win the game. So there's no such thing as like a real tank. Now, coaches can tank, organizations can tank. They can start sitting players. They can do what the Commanders did last year when they traded away all of their pass rushers. Like, but players don't tank. Teams can, coaches can, but players can't. I'm telling you right now, if Brian Dable wants a job, he can't afford to tank. Because if the New York Giants lose games, he's going to lose his job. Period. Unless he makes it seem like it's clearly just Daniel Jones. Unless he does that. If he makes it, and this right now it's pretty clear that Daniel Jones is a big part of the problem. I wouldn't say that he's all of the problem. There's a lot of issues going on with the Giants, a lot. But right now, that's the biggest issue in my opinion. My man Brian Sutton says, facts, Henry, facts. Said this is another RG3 era for them. Wow, I missed the whole conversation. I jumped in on that at the back end of that conversation. So I'm assuming you guys are talking about Jaden Daniels and you're comparing it to what happened with RG3. Let me know if I'm correct with that. The funny thing is I believe that too when they drafted him. I told one of the guys that I knew that's a Commanders fan. I said, to me, this is almost like RG3 coming. A similar skill set, even though I think he can throw the ball way better than RG3, but RG3 wasn't a slouch. He could throw the ball. Dynamic, can take off, make plays with his legs, but also could throw the ball. Jaden Daniels is at another level, especially when it comes to decision making and just flat out quarterback and going through his progressions. He's better than what RG3 was in his rookie year. Flat out. And I think that the way that he plays football is way more consistent to what you need when you want to be successful in this league, because he can do it with his arm, he can do it with his legs, and when the play breaks down, he's not looking just to take off, he's looking to make plays down the field. And that's a little bit different because RG3 would take off and he'll be going for 60 yards down the sideline for a touchdown. Jaden Daniels right now already is a better quarterback than what RG3 was, and RG3 won the Rookie of the Year that year. It is what it is. Shout out to my man Evergreen Records in the building. He says, Big Dash, no clue why, but I'm feeling good about the game tomorrow. Number 1 D-line in the league, and I think it's time DJ turned it around in MetLife. Listen, the New York Giants, the fans absolutely need a win at home. We absolutely need it. We need it. We have the legacy jerseys. Hopefully we're not honoring anybody tomorrow. I don't think we are. But come on, man. Like, I don't know how long you can keep the home crowd at bay. Well, without having to win at home this season. Tomorrow will be a great game. You have a hot Washington Commanders team that's coming in on cloud 9. Can we be a trap game for the Washington Commanders? And it sucks even saying that. Trap game for the Commanders. But that's where they're at right now, and that's where we are right now. But I hear you, man. And listen, I when I started this live, I said that I feel good. I'm feeling good tonight, man. I'm feeling good, and I like our chances tonight. For tomorrow, I should say. But yeah, I love it. Shout out to Ronnie. Ronnie in the building. Touchdown chef in the building. Sydney says, Jets won. We are going to win. What's funny? That's funny, Sydney, because one of my friends I grew up with, he's a Jets fan. And we go back and forth every time one of our teams loses. So, because he swears up and down, the Jets are better than the Giants, and they are disgusting too. The Jets are bad too. They won that game last week. Okay, whatever. Thursday night, I mean. But you know what? I guess I said every time you guys win a game, we win a game. We're twins when it comes to this record. So now you guys are 3-6. I said you just stamped it for me that we're going to be 3-6 too. I just thought that was funny. Right. Again, shout out to Ronnie in the building. Let's see what Ronnie put a couple comments in here. She says, I will be there with E, NYG, Big Pat, and Lou. So shout out to the Big Blue Crew. That's who she's referring to, the Big Blue Crew. And also the Shakedown crews is with Big E, the Chosen, NYG, Big Pat. Shout out to all those guys, man. They do great work. If you're not subscribed to the Big Blue Crew, and again, there's a bunch of channels. You got NYG, Unpopular Opinion. You got Either Chosen, who's part of the Shakedown, Big Pat. We know Big Pat and Louis G Nation. Shout out to all those guys, man, for sure. For sure. Always show love and support to those guys. I used to jump on a lot of streams. Still jump on a lot of streams with those guys and talk ball, for sure. Ronnie also says, put DeVito in. Damn. You know what? It could happen. It could happen. Again, this is a home game. If we lose another home game, people already want blood. People already are looking for blood already. If the New York Giants lose another game, and depending on how we look, now if it's a shootout and we lose by a field goal at the end of the game, that's one thing. If the score is like 28-31 or something like that, and the New York Giants putting up points, that's a whole entire different story. But if we score 3 points, 7 points, 10 points against the Commanders, and they sitting there with like 25, 28 points, 30 points, yeah. It's just so long that you can hold out. Just so long that you can do that. And yeah. I don't think you can survive too many of those. And I'm talking about Daniel Jones in that situation. See what else we got going on. Thunder says 13 points coming. I hope not, man. I hope not. Sydney said, and that's a great point. Look what the Browns did with Winston. That's a fact. Winston, Jameis Winston is hilarious. Jameis, that his pregame interview and then the postgame interview after he won, like, Jameis Winston is hilarious, inspiring at the same time, but he is funny. I like what he's saying. All glory to God, all that. Absolutely. He went out there and pulled out a victory. And at the end of the game, he said the same thing. Shout out to Jameis Winston, man. He got a chance to play, and he did well. And guess what? Let the Browns keep winning. If the Giants going to keep losing, let the Browns keep winning. Let's increase this draft spot if we're going to lose. I don't want to lose, but I'm saying if we are, let all these other teams win. I need the who's that? I need the Saints to win tomorrow. Who else is playing? I need the Patriots to win tomorrow. Not the Patriots. It's not the Patriots. Who's the Patriots? Patriots are playing the Titans. I need the Titans to win tomorrow. They're 2-6 too. I need the Jags to win. I need that. If the New York Giants want to keep on losing, I need those other teams to win. Now, if we're going to win, let's do it. I'm all here for the wins. My man Henry says Winston should get some movie deals. Yeah, Winston is hilarious, man. And he's dead serious too when he says that. Like they was calling him preacher. That's him, man. That's it. He's always been a good talker. And for whatever reason, even when he wasn't a starter, people still followed him. He's still a leader on these teams as a second string quarterback. We saw it with the Saints. We saw it with the Browns, and now look, he's starting again. He got a chance, and he's showing out. Who the Browns play tomorrow? I don't remember who the Browns are playing tomorrow. I forget. Thunder says we win any more games, no chance at Ward. That's a fact. That is a fact. That's one of the casualties. But again, I will say this, Thunder, and I know you know me, Thunder. I understand the big picture. You know what I mean? For me, it's Shedeur Sanders, it's Cam Ward. Those are my two top quarterbacks that I would love to be New York Giants in 2025. I would love that. But right now, when it comes to game day, I can't root for losses. Impossible. Impossible for me to do that. I just can't do that. And trust me, and I understand why I just can't do that myself. Oh, okay. You saying I'm not saying tank. Okay, I got you. My bad, man. I'm glad you corrected me. Listen, we on the same page then. We on the same page. My bad. I'll walk those statements back. Ronnie says, let's just have a good game. Tired of looking crazy and doing dumb stuff. Dumb stuff. And I know you didn't want to say stuff. I know what you was going to say. Browns got the Chargers tomorrow. Thank you very much, Shamar. Shamar says the Browns got the Chargers. Browns versus Chargers. Let me see. Do the Browns got a chance against the Chargers? That might be a low scoring game. That might be a low scoring game. Anyway, thinking about parlays, man. Thinking about parlays. I didn't put any parlays for the NFL in yet. Ronnie says, should not tank. We have to preserve our reputation. I gotta slow you down, Ronnie. What exactly is our reputation right now? What reputation do the New York Giants have that we need to preserve right now? Man. Thunder says, please, I don't want to see any more offensive penalties. Yeah, I talked about that a little bit earlier. It's disgusting. We can't get out of our own way in some cases. I said I got the PTSD. Every time we have a big play, I'm looking at the bottom of the screen for the yellow flag sign, the signal, the graphic. It sucks, man. It sucks. I knew that was coming. Ronnie says our defense is working hard. Absolutely. Our defense has not quit. These guys play hard. I got no problems with our defense at all. I didn't talk about it, but Tate Banks is back to being the starter. We ended up benching him last week. I thought we benched him at the wrong time. I think we should have benched him before the game started, maybe sat him for like a quarter. And also, I didn't see anything that warranted on the field, I should say. I didn't see anything that happened on the field that warranted him getting benched. Everybody keeps pointing to Najee Harris jumping over him. And I already talked about that. And Najee Harris jumps over somebody every game. Every game he jumps over somebody. And then the play that he had against Pickens, that stopped him from getting that touchdown. I thought he had enough hustle in that game. I heard there were some things that happened on the sideline. He got a little bit of fiery on the sideline and decided to sit him. But, we paid for it too, because as soon as he got out of he wasn't playing the best, but as soon as he got out of the game, well, who's the guy for Austin? Austin for the Pittsburgh Steelers went off as soon as Banks got benched. And then we saw the weakness of Drew Phillips. Downfield is not his strong suit right now. I like him in the box. I like him taking care of all of the short stuff. But him trying to guard downfield, that's not in his repertoire right now. He's not ready to do that. And we saw a little bit of a weakness in Drew Phillips. I don't like that. Let's get this guy back on the field. And I believe Adoree Jackson is playing, right? Adoree Jackson is not on the injury report. He should be playing. I didn't see anything about Adoree Jackson, so I'm happy about that. Flott, I didn't see Flott either. So I'm assuming these guys are playing this week. We might see something. We might see some improvement. And the defense is already playing well. If we can get solid play in the secondary, again, that goes towards some of the good stuff that, we have a chance to beat the Washington Commanders. Absolutely. Cindy says Brian Dable is a major hothead. Maybe he got angry. Talk about that Banks. Okay. Again, I heard that was, pretty much it got fiery on the sideline between Dable and Banks. And we didn't see Banks anymore on the field. Yeah. And I remember somebody said, was it Sean Morash said that, basically there was absolutely a blow up on the sideline between Banks and Dable. And that's what caused it. And he said ESPN didn't even show it. Shamari says 11 penalties for 65 yards against the Steelers. Got to do better. That's a fact. Again, that's a fact. Penalties, again, when you're struggling to score points, and then every time you have a positive play, you're getting penalties, you can't win making mistakes. The New York Giants already have to be almost perfect to win games. But like you said, 11 penalties, 65 yards, that is not a winning recipe. You can't do that. You can't do that. Zachary Mine, a Commanders fan, he let it be known. Go ahead and show that man a nice warm welcome. Shout out to Zachary Mine, a Commander fan. Giants can't stop the run. Laughing emoji. Even harder laughing emoji. Laughing emoji. Go ahead and get that man a nice warm welcome. Ronnie says Dable may be a quarterback whisperer, but he might not be a head coach. Yeah, no, that's a fact. That's a fact. One thing that I noticed in the Pittsburgh Steelers game is that when the defense was on the field, he was on the sideline with, you know, with the quarterback, all the way on the bench on the quarterback going over plays. Now, I understand you're the offensive coordinator, but you're still the head coach at the end of the day. You need to know what the temperature, what the pulse of the game is. And if you're on the bench working with the quarterback, you don't know what's going on the field. You got to be able to do both. If you need somebody to talk to the quarterback, you know, when the offense is off the field, that's what your quarterback coach is for. That's what your offensive coordinator is for. My head coach is sitting back there. Meanwhile, the defense is on the field. Who's in control? If we need to call a timeout, where are you? Again, it's a lot of issues when it comes to Brian Dable with me. He might be just a good offensive coordinator. There's nothing wrong with that. Some guys just don't make it as a good head coach. Some guys are just good coordinators. We saw it with Spagnuolo. He was a great defensive coordinator. They let him be a head coach with the Rams, and he was trash. Came back to the Giants. Now he's a defensive coordinator, you know, with the Chiefs, and most likely he probably one of the best defensive coordinators, you know, ever, and got the Super Bowls to prove it. Sorry for the tangent. I went off on a rant a little bit. I'm going to calm myself down. Shout out to Sean Dell. He says, I can see it now. It will be a close game. Then a Daniel Jones fourth quarter turnover. You've been talking to Charlie from Maine? You sound like you've been talking to Charlie from Maine. Turnovers. Yep. Shout out to my man. Was it Shinye? Hopefully I'm saying that right, no disrespect. 2 delay of game penalties is a major problem. There's an effing clock everywhere you look. Facts. Wasting timeouts too. Facts. Again, what are we doing? Like, everything's ugly. Not everything, but poor execution, penalties, you know, misjudgments, poor clock management. You name it, the New York Giants are doing it. And ultimately, at the end of the day, the defense holds for as long as they can hold, and then something happens. That's the story of the Giants this year. That's our story. Oh man, don't bring it up. 2-point conversion was proof. Yeah. I can't even get. I don't want to go. Yeah, I don't want to go back into the 2-point conversion. I don't want to do that. It was bad. It was really bad. But guess what, man? Where's the audible? You said I'm gonna get into it. Sorry, a wide receiver screen on a 2-point conversion. The majority of your offensive line is set out as blockers for the wide receiver for the screen. You hike the ball, and not one offensive lineman moves. Not one moves. And guess who I saw in the field for that play? Evan Neal. That was the first time, really, maybe possibly, that I remember seeing Evan Neal on the field, and it was for that play, adding insult to injury. Thank you, Ronnie, for bringing that back up. I totally, I was not thinking about that anymore. My man Thunder says we need to get these Buffalo guys out of here. Yeah. Now I will say this. I'll talk about it a little bit. Say Brian Dable doesn't make it. If Brian Dable doesn't make it, I've thought about it. There's one person that I would like to bring in as a head coach, and I wasn't really thinking about the guy before, but when Shane Bowen started coaching his defense well, and the guys started responding and playing really good football on the defensive side, I want to keep Shane Bowen. And I think you got a good chance of keeping Shane Bowen. If Brian Dable is gone, you got a good chance of keeping Shane Bowen if you get a guy like Mike Vrabel as a head coach. Let me know how I wasn't even going to talk about that tonight. This wasn't even supposed to. You see the title. The title says Giants vs. Commanders. We've been talking about a lot of things, but we ain't been talking about this game too much. Not too much. And for the Commander fan that was in here, you're absolutely right. We have issues stopping the run, but We'll see what happens tomorrow. Because I think we got something for y'all tomorrow. I think we do got something for y'all tomorrow. But yeah, let me know how you guys feel about Mike Vrabel. Again, nothing has happened yet. Nothing has happened yet, but let me know how you guys feel about Vrabel. My man Thunder says Vrabel too. Yeah, so you knew where I was going. You know, great minds think alike. Thunder says Vrabel. That's what, listen, I don't know who the OC would be. And look, just as soon as I say that, look at this. He says, I like Vrabel, but who do you think would bring it? I don't know. I have no clue. No clue. None. When you've been a player in this league and you've been a coach as long as he's been a coach, you got to have some connections to somebody. They got to be somebody that you know that can come in here and be your OC. But I don't know who that guy would be. It is what it is. But I do like Vrabel. He brings some stability. He has some cachet, but he also, you get to keep Bowen, and the way this defense is playing right now, I don't want this defense learning a new system. I don't want them learning a new system. I want these guys playing this in the same exact system in 2025. I like what I'm seeing right now. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to keep Brian Daboll, because I don't want these guys to change everything again. But there's just some things I can't excuse when it comes to Brian Daboll. But if we're going to lose Brian Daboll, go ahead, bring me Vrabel, and hopefully Vrabel keeps Shane Bowen. Now, if Vrabel doesn't want to keep Shane Bowen, then I might not want Vrabel either, but it is what it is. It is what it is. My man Thunder says, correct. I don't mind, but who's the OC because we get a new quarterback? Yeah, I know. That's a big question mark. It's a big question mark. DJ only runs the play called. He never has a plan B or changes the protection. He needs to go. I'm ready for Drew or Tommy. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to argue with. If we do go to somebody, yeah, and Sydney said it earlier, I'm leaning more towards DeVito than Drew Lock. If I'm being honest, I'm leaning more towards Drew than Tommy, for sure. For sure. Okay, shout out to the people holding up strong. 60 people in here, 59 people in here. Make sure, again, you hit that like and subscribe button. I do appreciate the love and support. And we vibing, man. We vibing. But we're going to get out of here soon. Sydney says, I'm curious to see how Kafka would be at head coach. Is that possible? I think Kafka is already out the door. 1 foot out the door. I don't know how people will receive that or whatever. I don't know. Because last year I had a problem with Kafka calling plays. This year I got a problem with Daboll calling plays. So I just need somebody new, maybe. It's something that could happen, though. If Daboll doesn't make it, then of course Kafka probably becomes the interim, and then we can see something from that. But again, we're not there yet, though. But I don't know how I feel about Kafka, man. I think he was already ready to get out of here and go to Seattle, and we pretty much stopped him from doing that. Gave him a little bit of money and changed his title, and told him, "Hey, sit in the back and be happy." So I think he's absolutely done this year. After the season, no matter what happens. Thunder says, I'm there with you. I want to keep Dabes just because of the quarterback scenario. But I see some decisions he makes, and I'm lost. Yeah, some head scratches. I'm going to tell you right now, no. No. Have you seen Gruden lately? Have you seen him? He does his game breakdowns. Have you seen him lately? He's always been a little crazy looking. He look one flew over the cuckoo's nest crazy right now, man. And maybe it's just the hair. But have you seen his YouTube videos lately? Nah, I ain't messing with Gruden, man. I ain't messing with Gruden. He said, yeah, listen. And he's always been crazy, but he looks crazy right now. And I like Gruden, but also Gruden, it's like a Dr. Seuss book when he's calling plays, man. It's like, I'm not trying to confuse a rookie with all that mumbo jumbo, man. That's crazy. He's a little. Listen, man. I'm a little overweight too, so I'm not gonna knock him for being overweight. Oh man. Let's see. We said John Young, what's going on, John Young? He says, Big Dash, what up, big dog? What's going on, John Young? How you feeling, man? How you feeling? All right, man, we done came to this time of the video. We're going to talk these predictions. I want to see some of these predictions, and we're going to close out. We're going to close out after that. So how do you guys feel about this game? Got the New York Giants winning, losing. We had the legacy jerseys. We got all of the secondary back. Dory is back. Flott is back. Banks is back, starting. The only guy that's really missing on the defense now is Tibbs, and he's on IR. Let me know how you guys feel about this game against the Commanders. Let me know. Let me know if we got a chance. Go ahead and put your predictions in the comment section. I'm curious to see how you guys feel about it. My man James Hollis, shout out to James Hollis. He says, Dable, it's not it. My man Thunder says, I think we win this game. Let me get a prediction, Thunder. James Hollis says, I want a Kyle type offense. We're talking about Shanahan. Getting somebody off the Shanahan tree works. Getting somebody off the McVay tree works. And they're kind of off of like the same tree though, right? McVay, Shanahan, yep. They were together with at Washington. Yo, that coaching staff for the Washington Commanders, when the other Gruden was there, you got Gruden was there. Shanahan was there. McVay was there. I believe was O'Connell there too. They had a bunch of people, and they wasn't winning a thing. Had one of the best young up-and-coming coaching staffs, man, and couldn't win nothing. Okay, here we go. Shout out to Alan Greenwood. Crazy as go. Yeah. So Sydney says 35-10 Giants legacy jerseys carries us. I like it. Seti's 079 says Jaden Daniels won't finish the game. Giants win 27-23. Thunder says 24-21. Giants, trust me, I already knew. Alan Greenwood says Cam Ward. Yeah, shout out to Cam Ward. Did I miss something, Alan? You just came out of nowhere with the Cam Ward. I like what Cam Ward did today. And it's funny too, because when that game first started, I said Cam Ward might throw for 6 touchdowns today. He threw for 5 and 400 yards. So, and then of course, and also very calm in the pocket, almost calm to a fault. Going into that fourth quarter, they were down. It ended up winning by 22 points. I think they were down, 8 points, 10 points in the fourth quarter. It ended up winning by 22. It might have been late in the third and won by 22. Yeah. Shout out to Cam Ward, man. Poise, absolutely. Steve B says 28-10 Washington. I hear you. James Hollister says Cam Ward we don't need to win. I agree. Yeah, I hear you. You want to lose to secure the draft positioning. But again, Steve B, we got another Commander fans in here, says 28-10 Washington. Appreciate you hanging out, vibing with me, Steve B. Hopefully been, still hit that like button, man. Hit that like button. I have no issues again with Commander fans, but you guys have been getting very, 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 very not testy. What is the word I'm looking for? Overly excited about your team, but rightfully so. Again, I can't complain. If I was 6-2, I would be feeling the same way you guys are feeling. And guess what? You guys have been down for a while, and that's not a knock. And you guys are on the rise right now. And in all honesty, again, salute to y'all. But I hope we beat the brakes off you guys tomorrow, respectfully. But that's what I'm hoping for. But again, shout out to Steve B. My man Thunder says, got to shake down Carolina somehow. I hope so in Germany. I hope we can. We should be able to. James Hollister said, I'm just tired of not having a quarterback. I understand, man. I understand for sure, man. It is what it is. And that's a lot of Giants fans can agree with that. A lot of us can agree with that. We just want to win. We just want a quarterback. We just want to be confident with the play on the field. We want to be confident with the coach. We want to get our heads out of these paper bags, because right now we got our heads in paper bags watching these games. We like the old Saints fans, man, old Browns fans. That's how we feeling right now, and we got to turn this thing around somehow, some way. We got to be able to do it. Shout out to Steve B. He said we feeling ourselves for sure. Yeah, y'all are, but rightfully so. Again, if I was, and listen, 2 years ago when we were 6-2, I was feeling, I was feeling it too. And I was going crazy too, talking crazy too. There's video proof. If you want to go back in the archive, I was acting a plumb fool in 2022 when the New York Giants was 6-2. I can't even believe some of the stuff I was saying. I'm embarrassed, but I'm gonna keep it up there. It's back there. You can search for it. Thunder says, tell Stevie B, go sing Spring Love. I don't know what that means. Somebody let me know. Spring Love. Is that a Commanders type thing? Let me know. My man E Banks in Georgia says, I'm calling it 7 sacks, 21-10 Giants. I like that. I think we still, in this week as sack leaders. I think we can get to Jaden Daniels. Seriously, I think we can get 3 sacks this game, maybe 4 sacks this game. If people play to their assignments and stick to it, in control, don't let them break containment. I think we can get another 3 to 4 sacks in that game, maybe even more. We'll see what happens. Guys are getting healthy. Cornerbacks are getting healthy too. So we'll see what happens. He said, no, it's a song. Thank you. Shamari says 17-14 Giants. That seems like a realistic score. That sounds like a realistic score to me for sure. All right. I'm going to make sure we get to all these comments. They said, oh, that is a song by Steve. I got you now. I got you. It flew right over my head the first time. I got you now. He said, I want to be the one was better. Okay. All right. So you know what? I'm going to agree with my cousin here. 17-14 Giants. I like that. That's going to be my prediction. I still got a couple more going in. Let's see. Jonathan Hart says 24-13 Commanders. It is what it is. Sean Dell says, I think we pull this one off. Giants 26-20. Deontay Banks wins the matchup against McLaurin. He's played McLaurin well. I don't think he's had a bad game against McLaurin. Yeah, not at all. My man Christian Fuentes says, salute Big Dad. Shout out to Union, New Jersey. That's a fact. Shout out to Union. Union Fighting Farmers look horrible this season. Shout out to my old high school. They look horrible this season, that record. Couldn't have been me. We had some good Union teams, and that couldn't be me. But shout out to Christian Fuentes, man. Are you from Union? Christian, name sounds familiar. I know a couple of Christians, but shout out to Union at the end of the day. That's a fact. All right, let's see what's going on. So that's it, man. I'm going to end it here. I'm going to wait for my man Christian to respond. Are you a fighting farmer, Christian? Let me know. Let me know. But yeah, man, I think the New York Giants got a chance tomorrow. I just want to see competent football. I want to see complementary football as well. If the defense is playing well and they're getting that ball back to the offense, I need you guys. I need our offense to go score points. That's it. Can we score points? Can we play a home game and not get booed at halftime? Can we do that? Can we score points and can we do that? My man Thunder says, shout out New Jersey, New York. That's a fact. Shout out to the tri-state area. Shout out to the tri-state area, man. My man Jonathan Hart says, Giant fans, we will end Daniel Jones' run as y'all quarterback tomorrow. Come on, man. Listen, and it's only funny because it might be true. It might be true. Johnny Lovely. Shout out to Johnny, man. Johnny, you are everywhere, man. He says, let's go Big Blue. And that's a fact. Again, I want to thank everybody in here vibing with me. We stayed 50 strong during this live. Again, I appreciate the love and support. Shout out to everybody that's out there vibing with me. About to go ahead and shut this thing down. Said Tracy going off tomorrow. I hope so. Can he get another 100-yard game? I think he can. Thunder says, can we get a throwback Giants football game tomorrow and dominate Washington? That's what I'm hoping for in the legacy jerseys. Again, with the Giants on the helmet. Fighting Farmer, shout out to Galloping Hill. That's a fact. Galloping Hill, yeah. Good eats. Morse Avenue, Galloping Hill. That's a fact. Okay, Jonathan. I get it, man. I get it. Trust me, it's enough of y'all Commander fans that I talk to a lot on Twitter. You guys are ready. You guys are feeling yourselves. Absolutely. I can't wait for tomorrow, and hopefully it's a victory for the New York Giants. It is a victory for the New York Giants. And with that being said, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. We got the Commanders tomorrow. Let's command a victory. Let's